This guy was weird. Ezra Miller, the stuff he did was crazy. I think I remember watching this. Um, Danderson. This one, I'm not gonna say. Watching someone called Turkey Tom is crazy. He makes really, really informative videos, like on these weird, strange people. The anime degenerates. We can watch that one. Yeah, I sound low because I'm tired, man. I said we watch about half of this video. Watch it later, maybe on Sunday. So on Sunday.
And as well as page after page of links to TikTok. Daniel is someone that, upon first glance, it's not hard to tell that he's somewhat troubled mentally. However, everything has its limits.
Wait,
Page of links to TikTok. Daniel is someone that, upon first glance, it's not hard to tell that he's somewhat troubled mentally. However, everything.
Oh no.
Not every mentally troubled person is created equal. Some of
Sorry to pause. Christian came back and like Turkey Tom, he also did a video, which I'm assuming you guys just saw me scrolling through. But he was like his lore is already crazy. But then he came back with allegations of sleeping with his mother. His mom kicked him out of the house and he was in jail. He was in jail. I'm assuming it was for like the relations with his mom, and he went to jail for that. But he got out because he was so mentally, like, look at him. Like he is a weird dude. But yeah, he's out of jail and he apparently stinks real bad. So when people catch him in public, they try to record him, but he doesn't like being recorded. So.
them seek help for their problems, while others find their therapy in flashing random strangers in the park. Case in point, Mr. Daniel Larson, or how he has been nicknamed by his faithful following, Danderson. This one is gonna get funny, it's gonna get weird, and it's also gonna get pretty dark. Let's go.
So, I'm going to talk about my life and about what's going on with me and my disability and the mental health system.
As revealed in a now deleted video he posted to one of his accounts on TikTok, Daniel was born in 1998, which makes him 23 to 24 right now. In this video, he claims to have been abused.
Yeah, wait. Whoever drew the art right here in the corner, whoever drew that, that's crazy. That is crazy. Somebody took the time out of the day to make it so detailed, so realistic, but still make it stylized. That's
by his mother when he was a toddler, which resulted in him being taken away from her by social services. This is also confirmed in an unrelated news segment.
Did you guys see that comment? Daniel was raised by feral wolves.
That ran on a Denver TV station called KWGN. The segment wasn't on Daniel in particular, but instead on the Tennyson Center for Children, a foster home to which he was relocated when he was put in the custody of his grandmother, Nancy Scheimer. According to the reporter narrating the piece, Nancy moved from California to Denver to be Danny's legal guardian when she caught wind that he was suffering extreme neglect in his parents' home. Danny also claims that before he was even in preschool, he was diagnosed with developmental disabilities, autism, ADHD, and bipolar disorder, diagnoses which he came to eventually question altogether. After a year and a half living in Tennyson, he would go on to live with his grandmother for years. This newsreel was broadcasted in 2012, when Daniel must have been roughly 14 years old. His grandmother says that, though he was difficult to deal with initially, Daniel started behaving a lot better after a while. It certainly shows, as after his first public appearance, Daniel seems to not get himself involved in any trouble at all for years.
You see how nice he looks? It's really unfortunate that his life kind of devolved into what it is. Like, where's Danderson now? Last time I saw him on a TikTok, he was at Olive Garden saying that the FBI were gonna get him or something, and he was screaming or something. I don't know. I don't remember. This was like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. But I remember I was laughing at it because it was Danderson. But still, like, how did he get from this to this?
Presumably, it's during this time that he first pursued his now often mentioned objective of being an actor or singer. However, this peaceful period ends in 2019, when
And I feel like all people like this, like people who have like a disability, and then they go online like with no supervision, no sort of like guidelines. Like they think they could become famous, and some of them actually do become famous for the wrong reasons. They become, of course, a lolcow. If you don't know what a lolcow is, and I'm assuming most of you don't, it's um, like someone who's getting milked for views, for laughs. So like people are like intentionally trolling them, making it seem like, oh, we like you, we love you, but it's really not the case. I'm sure Danderson has some like real concerned fans, but it's probably like 1 out of 100,000. So it's like 3 real fans that care about his actual well-being.
When Nancy passed away, which was also confirmed by Daniel himself. After his grandmother's passing, Daniel was briefly sponsored by a man named Bob Proctor, who he recounts meeting at a reading buddy program at the Tennyson Center. Due to how well they got along with each other at the time, they became permanent reading buddies. As they bonded over board games, Bob also befriended Daniel's grandmother. And knowing how much she cared for him, Bob decided to take up the mantle of Daniel's caretaker when Nancy would no longer be able to carry it. Easier said than done. Daniel frequently pays Bob lip service, calling him his mentor and thanking him for financing his music career. Keep in mind here that I use the terms financing and music career very loosely, considering he did little more than pay for a couple of royalty-free sounding basic instrumentals for Daniel to sing or rap over. This support resulted in cult classics in the Danderson community, such as Gang Life, an excerpt of which I'll now grace your ears with.
I have a video. I was at Micaiah's house. I got it in my favorites folder. Oh my gosh. And I have this image of her. We paused it and she started playing her Switch. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
This song, much to the general public's chagrin, was just one of Daniel's many forays into the music industry. It seems he was very attached to the idea that this pursuit of his would eventually lead him to becoming a celebrity. Often, he would act as if he'd already achieved fame and got a record deal with a major label, sporadically changing which one depending on the headcanon he has at the time.
I am now with Atlantic Records.
This particular part of the odyssey of Daniel Larson began in March 2020, when he began posting on TikTok on an account that no longer exists called @DanielLarsonFans. You might wonder why it's named as if it were a fan account of his, but it's actually par for the course in the—
That's issue number 1. That's where his life started going downhill, when he started drinking Monster. Monster is not good for you. Monster, I've never seen a normal person drink Monster. Nothing on Danderson. If he likes Monster, that's okay. But I don't trust the person who drinks Monster. When I was at Rite Aid, when I used to work at Rite Aid, people would come in, get Monsters all the time. It was like, okay. But it would get to a point where they were stealing Red Bulls and Monster energy drinks all the time. It's like, yo, I really don't get it. I've had a Red Bull before, drank it. It's like bad soda. It tastes like bad soda. And then I don't think I've ever had a Monster before. Maybe I'll do that on stream one day. Eating things and drinking things that I've never had before. That'd be fun, right? But yeah, I really don't get it. I really don't get it.
Larson extended universe. During his many different nodes of online presence, there is a common theme, which is Daniel posturing as if he were already an established personality.
Yo, I'm gonna keep
Initially,
going.
his videos consisted of little more than him announcing his interest in becoming an actor and singer. Because of his unorthodox appearance and janky demeanor, people in the comment section began to ironically hype him up, effectively leading him to believe that he had fans. Even though, at this point, his following was very small, the few people egging him on was more than enough to get to his head, as on July 14th, he would suggest a run for presidency. The cycle would repeat, as after this, people would not only start telling him he had good chances, but often referred to him as Mr. President. 4 days later, he would announce that he was working on an album. A few months after that, he formally announced his run for presidency, and it was around this time that his TikTok got really big, as many in the audience saw him as the next Chris Chan or Terry A.
A lolcow is a person you get extensive laughs from who doesn't know they're being made fun of. They can often think they're admired for what they are doing, but are secretly being laughed at constantly. See that obese lady dancing on cam? Dancing on cam? She's such a lolcow. That's perfect. Perfect definition. There we go. Learn something new every day. Sometimes I forget that I have to explain things like this to other people. Like, I had to explain what gooning is to Damar. Like, it's so weird. Like, I feel like I'm like, oh, I'm not chronically online. I watch Turkey Tom all the time. He's chronically online, so that inadvertently makes me, because I'm just eating this stuff up. Like, this is cinema, and it's reversing. It has reversing effects on my health. So
Just a month later, his TikTok hit 1 million views. The comical aspect of Daniel's online presence was reaching its peak as a phenomenon called the fog began happening throughout his TikTok videos. It seems that his front camera began malfunctioning, most likely due to Daniel hitting it in a fit of rage, as he would eventually become known to do. This made the image look foggy, and because of the meme that began surfacing at the time, wherein people would post cryptic references to a Lovecraftian fog that consumed everything in its path, the comments got flooded with fog references. Of course, Daniel was not technologically savvy enough to understand what happened to his camera, let alone fix it. The fact that everyone was commenting about the fog did not seem to matter very much to him, as the fog kept coming and going in his videos, essentially becoming an unintended running gag. And with that, the cult following he had gathered slowly went from uninvolved spectators to active trolls, as people began noticing how, due to his mental issues, Daniel was very easy to trick into doing unsavory things. He was always very active in his own comment sections, and it seems he hardly ever doubted anything anyone told him. When a comment would show up claiming to be a scout for a record label, soon after, Daniel would start making videos saying he worked for said record label. But that was only the mildest manifestation of this behavior pattern. By convincing Daniel they were his managers, they got him to say he loved CP, which he goes on to clarify is actually about Club Penguin. As time went on, his interactions with people that commented on his post.
Do you guys see, like on Instagram, I don't know if you guys see it through the comments, what you guys watch, or what you guys view on Instagram, but I know I follow a lot of NBA pages because, of course, I enjoy basketball. That's another thing we can watch. We can watch some NBA streams. So I follow a lot of NBA pages, and it'll be like bots, of course, and it'll be like, oh, free incest P in the comments, free CP in my bio, and it's like, yo, like how many people click on it with the intent of like getting that kind of video? You know, it's scary because it has to be somebody, because this is a pool of different people across the country, across the world. How many people just click on it out of morbid curiosity? You know, usually when I see those kind of comments, I often try to report them because that's gross. At the off chance that it is whatever kind of video, I always try to report it because that's gross. That's disgusting. But yeah, Instagram has a really, really bad bot problem.
Became more and more involved, eventually culminating in a live fan stream where he would elaborate on his plans for his music career. So far, the entire story was well within the realm of normalcy and lightheartedness. However, as situations like these inevitably do, it quickly went south. On the 20th of November, Daniel's Pinterest account was found and leaked. The activity on the account was seriously disturbing. There was a list of pins dubbed girl crushes that included singer Grace Vanderwall and ventriloquist Darcy Lynn Farmer, both of whom were around 16 years old at the time. If that wasn't disturbing enough, the pictures themselves tended to be from when they were even younger than that. Another board on his Pinterest included a map that listed the age of consent.
So he knows what he was doing. People... Have you guys seen the video of the lady and her child who's on the spectrum, but he's like way bigger than her, and he really likes Applebee's? They know. He is capable of knowing. He grabbed his mom, boom, because she said no to Applebee's, which is crazy, because his mom was so much smaller than him. I'm sure you guys seen the video. His mom was so much smaller than him. She was completely defenseless. Say if he just has enough one day. Say if he just, no, I'm not doing this no more. He could like kill his mom in Minecraft. Like, you understand? Like, he has the capability to do that. Say if he goes into a knife drawer, boom, stabs her. Say they have a firearm in the house, boom. Like, you guys are not understanding what I'm trying to say. And bless her heart for taking care of that child. But that's something I don't think I could ever ever handle. You know, I think that's a part of living, admitting when you can't do something. I don't think I can do something like that because I'm going to protect myself first and foremost. Okay?
Each state. After this information got around, Daniel took to his TikTok to acknowledge that the Pinterest was indeed his and apologize. Some people have said that he was coerced in some way to make this apology video by his managers, who we'll get into later. But the most damning Pinterest activities were happening long before Daniel started getting online attention. When Daniel noticed that an apology would not suffice to get people off his back for doing what he'd done, he began claiming that his account was hacked. Due to how believable that was given Daniel's technological illiteracy, some people actually fell for this explanation. In a live stream by an account called Roach Records, a group of people that seemed closer than the average follower of Daniel's interrogated him about the Pinterest account. To add insult to injury, these Pinterest leaks helped to recontextualize certain seemingly random videos of little kids Daniel had uploaded to his TikTok and YouTube, along with liked videos of children in vulnerable positions. His excuse was that those accounts were hacked as well after he gave the login information to someone called Fine Dining. Even if that was true for the Pinterest account, which it probably couldn't be,
Oh my gosh.
Good evening. Tonight's story begins and
Matthew
ends
Patrick?
at a guest house in Duluth, Minnesota. In
I'm
November,
not watching this.
It couldn't explain how someone could hack Daniel into duetting little girls on TikTok, as the people in the livestream point out. This doesn't even come close to addressing the fact that, in another video, he not only admits the boards are his, but that he used them to pleasure himself, in a clear admission of guilt. But that was only when Daniel was admitting there was a Pinterest account of his at all, since he would sometimes pretend he had no idea what Pinterest even was, or that the account was never his. Whether with or without the involvement of the untrustworthy manager trolls, it seemed a lot like Daniel had a big penchant for lying or purposely misleading people when he was confronted about something.
Somebody was telling me of some type of social platform called Pinterest. Huh. I wonder what type of printer it uses.
So, a few months go by with more of the
my
usual. Daniel uploading videos that range from him being delusional about being a famous celebrity to doing trick requests. In the few times he did choose to address the allegations, he'd emphatically reiterate that literally everything that incriminated him was fake and a product of his former management. You'd think that, now that he's throwing them under the bus, he'd realize that the managers weren't really managers at all, and were just
Me. Good as scene. Okay, that was a good bathroom sesh. Have you ever, speaking of bathroom, have you ever had a full conversation with yourself in the bathroom? Because I was just in there, right? And I was like, yo, I really need a haircut. And I was just thinking, when I go to work, the kids at my job are like, Mr. Ranson, you got a haircut? Because, like, I've been going so long without a haircut. They're going to be like, they're going to think I got my whole head shaved off when I'm just getting cut down. I've been with them for a while, y'all. And that's part of the reason why I've been wearing hats. And I'm going to be wearing do-rags on stream until I get a haircut. Even so, I just kind of like how do-rags look on me. But either way, let's get back into the video.
lying, incompetence, miscommunication, and essentially lost pieces of information due to how many different deleted accounts Daniel had. Regardless, all of this marked a turn into a much darker direction for his story. He closes it off by saying that he's hired a private investigator, and all of this situation was orchestrated by the media to smear him, because he's an upcoming superstar singer. Those statements are probably equally untrue, as Daniel definitely could not afford something like a private investigator, given that he had no source of income and was living off of the charity of benefactors. What stands out to me is that he mentions that message exchanges had been faked to incriminate him, when, so far, it's difficult to find a particular mention of something like that. So what on earth is he talking about? Well, we're about to find out.
Solos.
At this point in time, it's basically impossible to accurately contextualize Daniel's online activities, as he grew more erratic, delusional, and antagonistic with his own audience as time went by. At the end of April, in one of his many attempts to ape typical celebrity behavior, he would post a tribute to comedian Blake Shelton for Black Lives Matter. He consummates the deed by doing his own version of jumping jacks in an empty street. This is actually a theme throughout Daniel's videos, which could be a result of his manager's suggestions, just as much as it could be because he likes doing them. Similarly, he made a jumping jack video asking for the George Floyd riots to stop, as well as another one where he seems to
he stopped it. Cause you think the riots just stopped naturally on their own? No, Danderson was the cause. He did it. It was him.
believe that the riots are being done by his fans. On the 1st of May, Daniel would post a video to his YouTube channel.
That's crazy. It's crazy how delusional that is. Because they're happening all across the country, and he thinks his fans are the ones that are mainly, like, are inciting the riots. That's insane.
shouting out none other than EDP445, essentially empathizing with a sex offender and suggesting that they should do a collab in the future. I honestly can't really make a comment about that would make it funnier or darker than it already is. But soon, a new era would begin in the Larson-verse, dubbed the headset era, due to every video being recorded with Daniel donning a comically large headset on his head, even when he is running outside for whatever reason.
Whoever is trying to call me right now needs to f***ing stop. I realize I'm a If you guys don't...
On the same day, he would publish a video called Daniel Larson Supports Transgender Mouth, in which he says...
Listen. You guys don't see me right now. I had my headset mic down, then I'm talking through that. Oh my gosh. I'm playing too much Fortnite, guys. I was about to make a comment about the headset. I don't even think I deserve to make a comment about the headset anymore, because I had it literally on just like him.
Joining it in mass and wait for their expectations to be fulfilled. Like clockwork, as soon as enough people were watching, Daniel would pull his pants down and expose himself to the camera, until his livestream was shut down and his account got permanently banned. Just a few hours later, he would resurface in another account claiming, once again, that he'd gotten hacked.
How do you do that? Like, how do you think that's not hacked at that point? Like, he pulled his meat out on live, which is crazy. Imagine how many kids were watching that. That's disgusting. That's gross. Ugh. Like, have you guys like seen, I don't know if it's like, I don't know, like a kink or like just for the memes, but like seeing the dude Baby Alien, watching him do adult videos is like, how, like, there's a market for that. What? Get it.
As if that explained or justified anything at all.
Hello everyone, this is my new account. Please follow this new account. This is my new account. Once again, this is my new account.
According to the Daniel Larson wiki, and yes, he does have a wiki managed by his loyal followers who have undertaken the burden of documenting his story as it unravels, Daniel was convinced by one of his former managers, Flexburger. In addition to the TikTok live, he also concurrently posted a picture of his genitalia to his YouTube community page, though that seems to now be lost media, probably for the best. It's difficult to say what exactly followed or preceded these events, but it was amidst these conflicts that Daniel declared war on Flexburger, as well as warning his fans against looking at pictures of his dingaling. What seems to have been the case is that Flexburger was one of the first people to discover firsthand about Daniel's Pinterest account, and because of this, decided to go on a campaign to expose Daniel. This included leaking private audios of Daniel talking about Sky Brown, a 12-year-old British-Japanese skateboarder, in a very suggestive way. Along with this, he pretended he was a minor and texted Daniel in classic to catch a predator form. Much to the collective dismay of his fans, it worked on Daniel every single time, as he would always say the worst things imaginable to people he thought were minors, soliciting them and, occasionally, bringing in Grace Vanderwall, his go-to obsession, into the conversation, just to express how he felt about her. This was what Daniel was talking about when he mentioned the text messages. Daniel addressed all of this by announcing a lockdown and expressing all of his anger towards Flex, while saying that he would set the FBI on him. And hey, I guess you can do what you want when you're the president. What's surprising is that, even after this, Flexburger still managed to successfully pretend his way back into Daniel's good graces as Josh, an Interscope manager. It was under the Josh guise that he caused the May 6th incident. If it weren't enough, just a single day later, while everyone was still reeling from it, Daniel would go on another TikTok livestream on his new account and expose himself again. Now, not only did this bring a lot of attention to Daniel, but it also put a lot of things into context. Eventually, people put two and two together and connected the allegations with a bunch of other very incriminating clips. Examples of these include Daniel pledging to legalize child molestation when he was president, saying,
"Are we serious?" Ugh.
He repents for whacking it to pictures of children and Grace Vanderwall, as well as apologizing for having 500 megabytes of CP, so on and so forth.
If you became president, would you make pedophilia illegal or legal?
So, it's kind of interesting. That's a very good point. In my opinion, if underage can actually do with
Alright, I think we're nearly halfway through the video. I don't think I want to watch anymore. I really don't think I want to watch anymore, so I think I'm going to play some Fortnite. Ooh, that's gross. That is nasty. That is crazy. And this isn't even like, I don't even think Danderson is like the worst one. I think I'll try to watch one of the worst ones, I don't know, sometime soon, because that guy, I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, I don't want to watch anymore.